The future of education is in the hands of the next generation of teachers. And the more experience they have with creative approaches to allow kids to really shine and grow, the better equipped they are to be able to go and do that whenever they have their own classrooms.
If you want to engage kids in innovation and in engineering design, you want to make sure that teachers have the skill set, have the passion to bring that into their classrooms.
Obviously, if you have teachers who aren't as confident in engineering or even intimidated by the term, then you have this tendency to say, well, our kids can't do it or we can't do that without ever even trying it.
Our team developed Changemaker K12 as a learning path that gives pre-service teachers the tools and confidence they need to teach engineering design during their field experience and also in their future classrooms.
What we've done differently with Changemaker is we've situated engineering design kind of in the middle of a larger process, one that says before we can really define problems and create solutions, we need to develop a step-by-step approach to these creative processes that could be very accessible to teachers. And so to get you there, we're really starting with 3 large foundational steps that build upon one another. So the first foundational step is design awareness.
We know if you want to be a good designer, engineer, you have to be able to see the world made up of systems that are malleable and that you have the power to make changes in these systems. The process that we'd use is have kids look closely at this object, identify the parts, sketch it very carefully, label those parts, describe their purposes, and then think and articulate how those parts work together to get something done.
My students take away from design awareness just being aware of the things that they use every day. Like they've never looked at a doorknob the same way after we do that parts and purposes activity.
One of our students, we were at the rec center and he was looking at the volleyball and he said, I wonder how this volleyball is put together. So that was really powerful for me because it showed me how just looking at something small can obviously lead to something greater. And we see that in the progression of the Changemaker process.
The next stage is design for function. This would be considered the more traditional engineering design process. So we begin with them defining a challenge, coming up with as many ideas as possible about how to solve that problem, developing various prototypes, testing those, and then refining.
It's getting kids out of their seat, building, using their hands, which we don't get to see as much anymore.
The third stage is design with empathy. It's so important to consider the needs of humans when they're engaging in the design process.
Design with empathy, in my opinion, might be the most important part because we're thinking about someone else.
I think teaching kids that empathy aspect of it is highly important because it starts with feelings and it shows that you care.
The younger we can get the kids learning about other people and being empathetic towards others, the better I think our world would be. Everything about Changemaker, I feel like, was designed with a teacher in mind, a busy teacher in mind, because we have the slide decks, but also the journal prompts, which are ready to print, cut, put in any journal they already have. So everything was designed to make it as easy as possible for a teacher to implement.
Throughout the Changemaker materials, you'll see opportunities for kids to level up. This is calling on teachers to really switch the focus away from the end result and put their focus back on the process. The level ups are in things like collaborating, for communicating with peers, for caring for the user that you're designing for.
Learning how to be better communicators and collaborators is something that is going to be valuable no matter what job we have or what career we choose. And if we can use this to help them be more aware of the ideas they're creating and the ideas they're accepting from others, it's going to come across in every subject area on every school day throughout the year.
So it's packing all that stuff together, building on those 3 foundations to then bring you to a point where you're ready to become a change maker.
When they engage in design for change, it's immensely motivating for kids to be able to pick a problem that they're passionate about and to develop a solution for that.
Now they are trying to come up with a problem on their own and solve it, and they're thinking about other people. Who does this problem affect? They're thinking about the function. So my solution is this, but how is this going to work? So they're thinking deeper.
The kids are really able to speak what's true to them, what they think is this problem that needs to be solved.
Their solution's going to be more realistic, something that they feel they could actually change in the world one day.
And when they see kids working together, solving problems, getting highly engaged into the lessons, I think that's a different message that you send when it comes to teaching. Here's what people may think teaching is, and maybe it is in some situations, but here's what it can be in most situations.
I would look for any and every way to use this program, especially now with a lot of scripted curriculum and very limited freedom of creative expression.
If you want to teach your students how to be better people, how to change the world, how to be a collaborator and a communicator, then this is the program for you.
I think it's incredibly empowering when you realize at any age that much of the world as we know it has been designed by humans. And now we're humans who are part of the world who get to design it for the future. And so what we've noticed with pre-service teachers is that whenever we can kind of have that light bulb moment go off where they can see education in schools as a system that was designed, they can also see themselves as empowered future participants in that field who, with the right tools and processes, can perhaps make an even larger change than they already anticipated.